Okay, hello everyone. I just wanted to show you guys the new settings menu and how they work. Um, a lot of players are going to be used to the fact that in older games or Call of Duty or even in modern games that you'll boot up the game and go to settings and then set everything to low. I do it, a lot of people do it, and that's okay. But in Battalion 1944 we're going to do that a little bit differently now because we've added a few more settings that mean you have a bit more control over the way the game looks. But don't just necessarily switch everything to low, so I'm just going to go through them now. So let's start off with, this is our new renderer. Everything's really pretty, looks really nice. We used to use this, which is the forward renderer. We are not going to be using that anymore. I'll have to apologize for the crappy sound because I'm using an old headset. Okay, so this is our old renderer, the forward renderer. We've got it disabled because right now we're on the pretty deferred renderer, which is like nice UV4, beautiful game. So start off because it's really loud. Turn down the master volume. Let's go down to 5. But also show you this, and a lot of people wanted this. I'm gonna turn down the panning volume, so it's nice and quiet now. So then we go back to video. Okay, so straight away, this is what the game looks like, just default quality. Skype popping up there. So if I go back in settings, then we go to forward renderer, freeze for a second, go back, and you see it looks like old Battalion. Any chugging you see is because I'm on an unfinished version of the game, so it's nice and slow. But this would be faster. So if you want better performance, and that's what you care about in your competitive player, I encourage you to use the forward renderer. That's probably the best way to go. So for competitive players, the next thing to do is just go through this. Depending on your graphics card, you want to have texture enabled, disabled. Just leave it enabled for now. Turn everything to low, foliage off, except for post-process, which I'm going to leave on high. I think you can use medium as well, but I'm going to leave it on high. Then apply that. Let me see, get rid of all the foliage. We've got rid of the weird ground thing that used to happen. That was actually, we're trying to save performance on it. That's why it looks so weird. But anyway, we've got rid of that, so it's nice and flat now, like good old COD 2. But now, what I want you to do, I'm just gonna, using FOV, change that, and leave brightness where it is. But I'm gonna come down here to all these environmental tweaks, and we have like a whole load of new stuff here. I have to apologize because I'm just kind of winging this video. Just wanted to, this is how I kind of go through it before we start playing or playtesting. Just straight away we have this thing called color strength, and that really is just like a range of colors. It's not like a strength. It actually is just like on the one end we got green, on the other we've got a more reddy tone. So if I just hit apply, I mean you could do this if you wanted to, play Splinter Cell, but I don't particularly want to do that. But I'll just kind of show you how I like to play. So straight away I'm just going to disable all of the extra stuff that you don't really need. So vignette, for those of you who don't know what vignette is, can you see on the edge when I do that, it sort of goes darker and brighter. Vignette's just a more cinematic look. We don't need that. Now global illumination, light balance, that's a big thing that we're adding. It's a big part of a deferred render. It makes the game look a lot prettier. I'll just quickly play with that. You can see there, change the shadows and how that changes it. It's where light bounces off surfaces and gets picked up by other surfaces. So we'll play with that one later. AO, this really is pretty minimal what you see. I just disable it, but it does make a difference. But I'll just disable it. It's little shadows on the edges. Don't need that really for now. Lens flare, I turn it down. Right now these aren't working, so I'm just gonna have to slide down anyway. Bloom, I know you guys want to get rid of that, so did I. This is a fun one, exposure amount. So this is actually like a camera exposure if you think about it like that. That's pretty much what it does. It's not dynamic, it won't change on the fly. You just set like brightness, but again I'll come back to that. Turn that shit off there. Okay, so let's apply. So this is how my game looks now. Pretty clear, a bit jank and edgy because I set everything super low, but that's okay. So when you guys stream, everyone will see a disgusting game and they'll hate on me. Um, so straight away, I'm going to turn the wall contrast quite high. Turn that. So that looks pretty horrible. But what it's doing is it's separating the colors. And what you'll find is the because we've changed sort of the depth of colors by changing the contrast, the characters kind of stand out a bit more against like a flat background. They're strong. The characters are more greeny, so they kind of stand out against gray now instead. Whereas you kind of have this like film over everything if you leave all the filmy tweaks on. So after that, now I'm gonna start playing with the color tweaks. In fact, sorry, the color tint. There we go. So I like kind of turning it down a bit, getting a bit of a flatter look, but now is sort of the important bit for visibility. So if we go to light balance power, I'm gonna turn that like really high. There we go. So now I've got like this nice visible shadow area. And then I'm gonna go to the next one, which is exposure amount. I'm gonna turn that one up too. And now we're starting to get this faded out look. So if I go to maybe a darker area, I mean, you guys know what inside looks like. Yeah, nice and bright. And the idea of these new settings, I was kind of saying that we actually want the game to look like old ass, like Medal of Honor, but we don't want to do things like, not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants those settings, so we wanted to make sure that anyone can choose how player they like. I think people who play like this will mostly be playing competitive, and when we launch Arcade 2, just after at the end of summer, we'll people will really get some more. Yeah, I think the people who want to use the high quality graphics will be playing with that in there. So if I go back to what I was doing, so I've probably got the contrast a little bit high, so I'm gonna turn that down a bit. Sorry, I've been tweaking these things for a while. So there, this is more like flat. If you go inside, nice and bright now. But here we go. Yeah. So this was notoriously dark. All right, I need to fix that. This is a notoriously dark room, right? Listen to that footstep now. Just after turning down the ambience. Okay, so going all the way back down. I think the contrast part again, like if you increase this, you will get a better sort of a separation between. Oop, shit. There you go. A separation between the sort of the background, the foreground, and I think the characters. They'll separate better. But you'll just play with that to your own liking. Depends what your screen is, your resolution. Changes the colors a little bit in UE4. I think all UE4 games do that. But now here's a little nice one that I know people were asking for. So I've got quite a plain sky. I've got a couple of clouds there maybe. So I look up. Now I'm going to play with something called sky fade we added. And you see there maybe it's tweaking. So if I turn it sky fade down, be a bit darker, and it's not having too much effect because I've turned up the light balance power and the exposure amount. Because my exposure amount is on 10, it's quite hard to see. So if you turn the exposure amount down, you can get flatter, a more deep sky, I guess, where you can see the clouds stick out a bit more. But right now, I like playing, and most of the time I'm not lighting up grenades, but I know a lot of you guys are. So this is what your gun looks like now. It looks horrible, but that's okay. You don't have any nasty shine or reflection or anything that you don't want. Obviously this stuff would be super shiny in the beauty mode. Okay, so now if I go to nearly everything, turn this down a little bit, turn down exposure amount, and maybe turn just up like standard brightness here. Like literally you can just do that if you want to. That's more washed out. You'll get a washed out look, but I don't mind it too much. That's not the one I want. Okay. So now I'm going to play the tint and the color strength a bit. So some people like to play a bit more blue looking. You could do this. It kind of hurts my eyes, but you go to LAN and you see people playing like that. On the other hand, you can make it really warm. And a lot of CS players like playing like this. But again, I'm kind of bashing the graphics here and trying to make it. I'm playing for visibility right now. And again, remember, this is you can do this on both deferred and forward, but on forward you won't get those shiny reflections. This is probably more like a low-end Counter-Strike kind of thing if you with the reflections going on here. But again, you get that shine on the floor. So, and it makes a big difference when you're playing on high settings. But if you just want frames and you just want to be a competitive player, I turn off the forward renderer. Okay, so here, just try to swap a weapon and have a look what it looks like now. Issues there. But yeah, so it's a lot more visible. I think I'm still getting the issue where you have to reapply your settings, but I've added that to the list. I'm trying to make sure that gets fixed. I just spotted that bug again. That's fine. But yeah, generally like the settings are just considerably better by doing this. Just having a little run around already, and for me, this is how I would like to play the game. It's maybe a little bit brighter than I want, but yeah, it's certainly a nice addition to the game. I think some competitive games should have. What kind of sucks for us is that it's on Twitch. This is how new players see the game. But you know, it's that's up to us to market it correctly, I guess. All right. I do not use that for control. Okay, so we come back into the menu. We can take a look here at a few settings. You obviously have all of these. So if I go to, I don't know, let's go to custom 10. Oh god, that's loud. Go back to custom 13. If we go to performance, apply there. This is like the performance default. That might be a good place to start if you guys are a bit unsure. You want want a little bit of a help. That's fine. But also the beauty mode as well. But then it will probably turn on like VSync and stuff. Actually, that one's just gone straight to my there. It set it, but you need to still change your. So you change your color fade. Beauty and performance just really tweaks all these settings. And those settings are for people who really don't quite understand. So these are more like advanced controls here. I would leave them all around the middle if you don't necessarily know what you're doing. See, it's very easy to just put it back where it was. Get that lens flare. You need the motion blur. And yeah, that's pretty much. You can have it back to the start. Play on some nice, ooh, beautiful high settings you want to. So you get this grass, looks really nice now. If you want to hide in the grass, ninja. Okay, so that's pretty much everything. So nice new menu, and yeah, I look forward to having you guys test the game in a couple of weeks, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. What settings you guys think you're gonna use and that kind of thing. What you're missing. Be good for us to know. But until then, any feedback is welcome, and hit us up on the Reddit, on Steam, anywhere you can find us. We'll be listening. Thank you.
Wartide. Destroy the objective.